He said, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. You're a happy girl, and you found your niche. You love to take care of the cows love you, you love the cows. You know, it's so wonderful to see, have seen you come to where you are now. Thank you. You're a wonderful example. Everyone's struggling in this world. You're a bright star now in our Krishna conscious movement. I know you don't like to hear this, devotees don't like to hear it, but I'm sure your dad, your mom, they're just sitting there glowing. And they have the right. They can feel some pride today, right? We're supposed to be humble, you know, not proud. But we can be proud. I'm Krishna's devotee. I'm a follower of Prabhupada. I have my spiritual master. We can be proud. And mothers and fathers can be proud of girls like you and boys like you who made the decision on your own. Thanks to Krishna consciousness. Like when you're born in a religion, it's a different thing. Lots of times people are born in religions and they don't join the religion. Unfortunately, I see many of our young people in ISKCON, they're born into the movement, but they never join the movement. They follow one or two regular principles. Sometimes they chant. All glories to them. But you're setting a good example, you and your sister. You're joining International Society for Krishna Consciousness by taking up the process in all seriousness. So therefore, I want to help you. Therefore, I'm, you know, like, you can consider me like that hand that Rupa Goswami was praying for from Krishna. And I want to make a promise to you. Just like you're going to make some very serious vows to me today, and I will watch and make sure that you follow them. That's, as one of your gardeners, that's, you know, I have to make sure that you stay on the straight and narrow. But I want to promise you, if you are making vows, I will also make a vow to you that I will not rest until both of us and all of my disciples and all, you know, let us pray all of ISKCON. One day we'll be sitting safely at Srila Prabhupada's feet in glory to God. It's said that sometimes the spiritual master has to come back to rescue his disciples. So that's a challenge. I mean, I'm not bragging here, but just some statistics. I have about 7,000 disciples. It's a good chance I'm going to come back. I don't care. Because for me, the spiritual world is where I'm serving Prabhupada. I don't want to be in any spiritual world without Prabhupada. He's my deity, he's my worshipable deity. And yes, he'll introduce me to the divine couple, but even then I hope to hand the chandan, the camphor, the garland that I've made to Prabhupada and hands it to Sri Radhika. That's pretty deep, but we won't go too deep. But we know who we are and we know where we're going. Bob Marley said that. We know who we are and we know where we're going. So sometimes we can open that window and, and then go back and pull out the weeds. So I promise you, right, that I will, by the grace of my spiritual master, I will deliver you to his lotus feet, and I will not rest until you're back in blue. I promise you that. There was a song in the 50s, don't make promises you can't keep. I'm very careful. Brahmana is very careful what he says. A Brahmana chooses their words, just like a Sudra, he chooses the stones by which to make a beautiful temple. A Vaishya is very careful when milking the teats of the cow. A Khatri is always sharpening his blade for going into combat to uphold Dharma. So Brahmana said when a Brahmana speaks, I mean I'm trying to become a Brahmana, but when a Brahmana speaks, generally what he says comes true. So Brahmanas are very careful with the words. So I say to all my disciples, I say the other day, I don't mind being the last man standing. When I was in the military, before coming to Krishna consciousness, I was in America's greatest fighting force, the Marine Corps. There's different fighting forces and special forces, but the Marines were the best. So in training, we were taught again and again and again and again that if there's a firefight, we were talking about Vietnam, if there's a firefight, which means a gun battle, and you have to retreat, you cannot retreat without all of the men, even if one has died. We were taught like that. If one of our comrades, our soldiers, has given up his life, the service of his country, we're duty-bound to take that body back with us. And sometimes it meant another soldier died. But that was the ethic. We didn't go back alone. We went back with everybody. So in a spiritual way, I've been taught by Prabhupada to think like that. I take this so seriously. These are my students. You're serving your spiritual master so nicely. All the Vyasa Puja offerings, they make me cry. Oh, I'd like to be like that. You know, they're saying something nice, I'd like to be like that. And I try to be like that so I can do this service. I'll try to become a better devotee so as to take you back home, back to the spiritual, with your sister. You might even be twins in the spiritual world, who knows? Hare Krishna. So yes. Let's all go home together. But let's not forget our brothers and sisters. The whole world's our brothers and sisters. We don't look at the karmis and think, oh, karmis. We're better than them. We're not better. We were there, in cosmic time, we were there 1 second ago. We're more fortunate. How fortunate all of you are to be living under the good management of Vijita Prabhu and his team, in the association of Krishna's cows and the most beautiful deities and wonderful Krishna village program, preaching, and you're farming, and you've got everything. Please take full advantage. And the best way is to bring the good people of your country to New Governor. Maybe they won't become devotees, but the piety, the benefit will grow in their hearts, and that community will be, it'll just be watering the whole country with auspiciousness. So you can see how much I've left New Govardhan. I first came there, I think it was 1990. Was that correct? I came to Australia in 1990. So I love the Australian, I love the Australian people. They're free and easy. And they're good people. I mean, there's some bad apples, of course, but the Aussies are good people. And, you know, you really know how to enjoy Krishna consciousness, I'll say that for sure. You know how to cook a feast. You guys know how to eat a feast. And Aussies are big people. So I miss all of you. I miss all of you very much, and I'm suffering. But at the same time, I'm enjoying because I'm in my chair for so many months just speaking Krishna consciousness. That I know that I'm serving my disciples, my nourishment about the and I will continue to do that. As soon as the call is over, I'll be the first one out the door. I'll buy a ticket from Delhi to Brisbane. I'll get in the car, and I'll drive up the 2.5 hours to New Govardhan, and I'll cross over that little bridge. And if any of you are there, you'll see another river. You'll see a river of tears. To see all of you again, hug you and embrace you. Have some whomper stomper kirtans. And eat with a smile up in the neck and worship the deities. So thank you. Okay, so we're gonna, I don't want to go on too long. I know you all have, you're going to observe one of Trinity days, the parents take the day. So I'm going to, we'll go through the whole process now, the formalities of the initiation. I would like, I almost called you by your name. I'd like Radhika to take the Ajahn cup and take the spoon in your left hand and put 3 drops in your right hand. And look at the water and say, Om Keshivaya Namaha, and sip the water.